South Africa has actually implemented what I've been saying all along, that they need to introduce biometric system. They already have it at Home Affairs. Other institutions are using, the banks using the same system. So why not healthcare? Why not introduce that biometric system to verify people's identity in healthcare? Because it is the gold standard. We need to know the people we're treating. That's why we have 5R in healthcare. All right, so the nurses need to be able to know who you are and verify your identity. So I had a nurse speak to a community and a Eswatini, Mpumalanga, and she was telling them they're going to start introducing this. And I say, oh my God, I'm so excited. And we need to actually congratulate Dudula's effort. This is Dudula's effort. It's so great to see that they're now implementing something they should have thought about it many years ago. This stuff, we should not have citizens standing at the gate demanding people to show identification before the government to realize they needed to build system. Like I said before, you had me talk about system. If you want to stop discrimination, you build systems that aren't discriminatory. Finger, everyone has the finger, right? Yay! Perfect. So, nobody's gonna discriminate you because it's only your finger talks. That's right. You see, system. You build system that is fair for everyone. So you then being able to track and share that data with other healthcare facilities to ensure that people aren't doctor shopping. This fingerprint is going to catch those people who shouldn't be there, who are there for other intentions. Like it's being alleged, they were going to this clinic to look for specific medications and then take those medications and sell them elsewhere, creating a very critical shortages for essential medicines like ARVs, antibiotics, and other painkiller medications. This was divergence. This was a problem, big problem, threatening the entire healthcare system in South Africa, even the world healthcare system, because once you have resistance, people travel. That resistance of infection, it could go to other countries. Other countries, they would now see themselves having that type of strain because you fail to protect the healthcare system with just embedding systems that can monitor usage and the people who are using it to make sure they're not diverting medicine elsewhere. So this biometric is the first start, making sure you have also data sharing and use that data sharing. Very important in the public health system, across every healthcare system anyway. So yes, and also it was great to hear that South Africa will continue to hold their humanitarian obligation, that is emergency care for all. Everyone must have access to emergency care, including foreign nationals. That is humanitarian rights. Actually, we must respect that. That is true. But also, we need to actually balance that. Comprehensive care is for citizens. Not ongoing public, care. That's for South African citizens and legal residents. Because rights without responsibility become abuse. You gave these foreign national rights without any responsibility. That's why they're abusing the system. Rights comes with responsibility. Even for us, the citizens, we have responsibility. The government has responsibilities. You don't give a group of people rights and you don't expect any responsibility from them, because if you do that, they will abuse. It become an abuse. Okay. And now we know the outcome for that. The seniors are very happy. Ugoko, Nomkulu, they are happy. They get to the clinic and they get service within an hour. So that's great, fantastic outcome. This outcome We must say thank you to Dudula, because if it wasn't for Dudula's advocacy effort, we wouldn't be here. They had to spend days in prison for just demanding that they have the ANC minister to listen to them, to hear their plight, to hear the citizen cry for help. They had to go to prison for this. This is like the apartheid era South Africa. You don't engage with citizens now. You're threatening them with police. Police are not meant to be doing this stuff. All right? The police for citizens. Not using police for that. Okay? They need to be out there looking for these criminals. So why using police for advocacy? Failing to engage with citizens. But you're threatening them with police. It was this attitude yesterday for Bantu Holomisa of telling people to go to hell. This stuff of sending police to Dudula, arresting them for actually for being they sounded a bit more reasonable. But from where I sit here in Australia, and everyone that I know I spoke to about it, we're like, yeah, Dudula's correct. Yeah, they need to know. The nurses need to know the people they're treating. They need to know. They need to verify them. So what on earth are you threatening? People are advocating for this identity. Now they've implemented this biometrics. Okay, they've implemented in some clinics. I don't know all of them, but this video that I was looking at was in Mpumalanga. The person is speaking in Eswati, and I think I'll play the video after here so you guys listen. But it's Eswati, so if you don't know Eswati, but you can translate it. Say Eswati to English. Maybe you'll be able to hear it, but the nurse is explaining to their community what they're going to introduce, that the thumb, your thumb line. Fantastic. This is really progress. This is fairness. And it shows that when South Africans demand accountability, at last, after people being imprisoned, now they've decided to listen. I don't know what changed their minds, but anyway, we'll take it. But they're not going to get our vote, okay? Because this stuff, they should have thought about it the whole time. When you bring laws, you need to run all the scenario. You need to run all the scenario. When you try to build up the new computer system, your new platform, your cloud, people, when they test it, they employ hackers. Government will employ hackers to hack the system. Pay people to hack the system. Because why they do that? Because they want to see where the loophole is. We want to see where people can find a loophole, so we can then build another layer. We need to build layers of security in the system. You can't just have no security, say everyone has access to healthcare. You don't have any layer of restriction and eligibility, and make sure you actually get people who really need care. And also be able to know how people can pay for it. Because even with that biometrics, you will know where people live. You'll know where the bill needs to be sent. So they need to pay. After they're being treated, they need to pay. Okay? So it's about system. You cannot just, for 30 bloody years and governing, bringing laws, but you haven't built systems that can actually be very strong enough not to be abused, the integrity of the system be protected. So that's what the ANC did. It was just building stuff, bringing these laws that sounds really good, noble, but really never thought about how we can protect these systems that we want to build, how we can protect it from abuse. This is what you do. You bring up our biometrics, you share data, you look how people are using the system, you make sure people have responsibility. And that responsibility is making sure that foreign nationals, they access this healthcare when it's really emergency. That is their responsibility now. It's their responsibility. They must make it clear that it is their responsibility to do so. And if they need other care, they need to private sectors available for that. This system was designed for that, to actually address the past inequity of apartheid. Cannot be for other people who were not even part of that apartheid era South Africa. And now you got it for everyone that even the residents cannot even get it because they're going to have to get there 5 o'clock. And then by 4 o'clock, they're still waiting. Nah. Let's all be clear here. Really, let's be honest about this. That we must have responsibility. That we say right to something, right to healthcare access, right to emergency healthcare. It's never unlimited. Rights are never unlimited. Rights always exist in balance with other people's rights. My right to healthcare cannot destroy your right to healthcare. Society's resources, limited budgets means prioritization, priority of citizens. That's why we live budget. No government has a budget that is so surplus that they don't know what to do with the money. All right? So the priorities, the budget is limited. So they need to prioritize. Where the priorities are citizens, first, and legal residents. So us people, we have responsibility too, individual responsibility. Claiming a right is a responsibility. We must claim a right responsibly, not abuse it. We must not abuse it. So when we say we have right to something, we're talking about an entitlement that comes with responsibility, because rights without responsibilities become abuse, and responsibility without rights becomes oppression.
Is my right to get service. Marumthetho uthi vele akufanele nesakuthinze or umabhalane angakaku-identify. Uku-identifya uthatha ikhadi lakho or ubhukwana wakho abuke ukuthi nguwe wena lo. Ne? Ngoba lokuthi singaku-identify kusibangela inkinga letiningi letichazwe la. Ngeke ngi-ede sifuna kuhle. So nyalo Home Affairs so sonzele kithi emaklinikhi uthi sebenzisani isystem yethu ni identify lo muntu longenako. Angithi sithupha ngeke usikhohlwe njengelipasi. Hlala sila ku angithi. So nyalo mawungena eclinic bataku identifier ngesithupha ngoba lokuthi sikuside singaka ku identify siphula umthetho kahle kahle. So nyalo sesinale system ukuthi mawungena ushaya sithupha sibone ukuthi nguwe gugu sibiya so yangena. Singakufaki lo lokuningi lokuthi bathe kune Dudula sekuna cha kune biometric system leta sinceza ukuthi sathi ukuthi ngubani lo longenela iclinic. So ningamangali nasenifike emakliniki iCathedral seyinawo ayeta onke emaklinik ma system sesta ukungenisa ngesithupha. Sengivile basilabanye sebayabaleka asikubophi akusike police station nethi sifuna sithupha sakho ukuthi ungene sekubone ngoba phela le 101 ya sistersani seyitawukhuphuka seyibe ngi 2 point something because bantu babalekela tithupha sitawubona lapha ukuthi una 5 bantwana mara basibakho akufuni thina tawufuna home affairs ne sina siya identify kutasita nathi sibone ukuthi na intolo boye eAfrica utasita nathi because uabuse ama service nako lokuthi uyele nale angeke ngikhulume ngabo bakhulumile. So into lento yisho is sibonga kakhulu kule open day. Ngiyacabanga umuntu nemuntu ufundzile mawungakafunzi shothi unenkinga.